Hello, and welcome to the Counselor Advocacy for the Jewish University Experience Jewish Student Fair. We are so excited to have you participating in this event today. I am your facilitator, Jennifer, and I'll be helping us through this really fun evening. We have some fantastic schools that are here. I'm so excited for you to hear from each of them. They will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution, but they'll be around for the entire session to answer your questions. Your camera and your microphone are off though, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. You can direct your questions to a specific school by including the school's name with your question, or you can leave a question for any and all of our representatives to answer for you. This is just one of many different sessions that have been happening as a part of this programming. We hope you enjoyed the earlier round, and it's not too late for you to join us in the next session to come. You can return to the website where you registered to see what sessions are coming up next and sign up again. Also know that this presentation, like all presentations, is being recorded, and they will be available at that same website where you enrolled, strivescan.com/Jewish Student Fair. I'm really excited to turn it over to our first presenter today. We're going to be learning all about the Cooper Union.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm just going to get the slideshow up. All right, all set. Hi, everybody. My name is Fatima Dalal, and I am the Director of Admissions for the School of Engineering at the Cooper Union. So the Cooper Union is located in New York City, and we feature programs specifically in architecture, art, and engineering. We're very proud of our history. We were founded in 1859, and one of the first schools to admit across religion, race, gender, and socioeconomic status. Also, the origins of the NAACP, the Society for Women Engineers, the suffragette movement, and the Red Cross all had their foundations at the Cooper Union. So as I mentioned earlier, we're in New York, and these 3 buildings are essentially our campus. And so we're located in the East Village, which is one of my favorite neighborhoods in New York. The first building on the left houses our engineering school, as well as our art studios and humanities and social sciences school. The building in the middle houses our art and architecture programs, and the building on the right houses our first year dorm. So all 3 of these buildings are about a 5-minute walk from each other. So a couple things that you should know about the Cooper Union right off the bat. We're a really small school, very tight-knit and collaborative. We have an 8-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. And given the size of the school, students really get to develop relationships and mentorship with our faculty. There's an emphasis on all 3 schools on experiential and project-based learning. At Cooper, we learn by doing. And also another one of our school's values is that our education, curriculum, and community is embedded by social impact across all disciplines. Okay, so a little bit about our programs. So the School of Architecture is very small, it's about 25 students. And students that graduate receive a NAB accredited 5-year professional degree, which means you can practice as an architect. The interesting thing about the architecture school is that it's all students in all 5 years work together across the floor with studio space and lab space. So they get to really know each other well and learn from each other. Our School of Art program has about 80 students that come in each year. What's unusual is that we do not offer majors, and instead disciplines are offered in drawing, painting, sculpture, photography, and graphic design. And another thing that I should mention about our program, it's kind of unusual for New York City, but sophomores and onwards all receive their own studio space, which is pretty great for New York. And lastly, the School of Engineering, we offer majors in chemical, civil, electrical, and mechanical engineering, as well as a Bachelor of Science in General Engineering. Some students, many students actually, can receive a master's degree in 4 years. More do it in about 5.5 and 6 years. And again, an emphasis on project-based and experiential learning at the School of Engineering. So a little bit about our student life, and current student, Jake, will be talking more detail about this in Jewish life in particular. But we have a very tight-knit and collaborative community. Students get to know each other really well. There's over 80 clubs, everything from cheese cult to Dungeons and Dragons to jazz clubs, music organizations, you name it. What I would say about student life at Cooper is that they really take advantage of life in the East Village for all of its cultural, social, professional, and academic opportunities. So a little bit about our approach to financial aid. So every student that's admitted to Cooper Union receives a $22,275 scholarship right off the bat. That means that's the maximum amount you pay towards tuition. But I'd say the majority of students pay much less. So every student is considered for additional merit-based aid, as well as additional need-based aid for those students that submit a FAFSA. So last year, the average, and emphasis on the average, was about $14,111. That's the average, but what I'd really like to convey here is that we will work with students to make sure that Cooper is an affordable and viable option. So our application requirements are that we're SAT test optional. We require standard letters of recommendations. For the engineering school, we have 3 writing supplement questions on the Common App, and the architecture and art schools have additional studio tests and home tests, which I'm happy to answer questions about that in the chat. Our deadline is November 1st for early decision. For art and architecture, it's December 1st, and our regular decision is January 5th. And now I'm going to turn it over to our current student, Jake, to talk about Jewish life at Cooper.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Jake. I just completed my first year at Cooper Union, and it was amazing. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about Jewish life at Cooper. So first of all, at Cooper, there is a Cooper Hillel, which is an amazing organization, both for religious things, for there's daily minyan. For holidays, it's really great for davening and for minyan, but it's also really great socially. It's a great way to make Jewish friends on campus, to really find your community, find your friend group, find your support system. They're always having special events. They'll have weekly just pizza and chill at school after classes, or they'll have game night at someone's apartment. Just a really great way to meet new people at school. There's also right, and then in the actual dorm building, they're very, very accommodating when it comes to Jewish needs. So I was able to, at the beginning of this school year, I was able to get, basically you use your Cooper ID card to scan yourself in to get into the buildings and to get into your dorms, but we were able to get actual physical keys that you put into the lock and you turn for Shabbos and Yontif, which was really, really great. You always get, I think the highest floor that they'll put you on is the 5th floor. I was put on the 5th floor this year. Super convenient for, again, Shabbos and Yontif when I needed to take the stairs instead of taking the elevator. It was just 5 floors and it was super easy, super quick. And yeah, and you do, every dorm is apartment style dorm. So you do have your kitchen.
I'm so sorry to interrupt Cooper Union, but we have reached your 6-minute mark.
Okay.
So we need to wrap up.
All right. Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, I'll be happy to answer questions in the chat.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much. I know 6 minutes just flies by and there's too much to cover, but I hope that our attendees will add their questions to the Q&A. I know we've got a few more that have joined us, and welcome. We're happy you're here. So please put this in the Q&A. And then also for our panelists today, don't forget you can add your contact information to the chat. All right, I'm happy to turn it over to our next institution. We're going to be learning all about Ithaca College.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, and thank you so much for having me here this evening. My name is Jessica Kowaleski, and I'm an Associate Director for Regional Recruitment at Ithaca, and I'm excited to present to you all. So starting out with location, Ithaca College is based in the Finger Lakes region of New York State. So we're approximately 4 hours from New York City. We're closer to 6 hours from the Boston area, as well as the Pittsburgh area. We're serviced by the Ithaca Regional Airport, but also Syracuse Airport is only about an hour away. And I find that many of our students are actually initially attracted to IC because of our size. So we are considered a medium-sized college. We have approximately 5,000 undergraduate students who are enrolled at IC. That being said, the average class size is only about 17, and the student to faculty ratio is 9:1. So we do resemble that of a much smaller institution, honestly. And our students come from all over the globe, frankly. So we are considered a more residential type of campus and community. We offer close to about 100 majors and 70 different minors across our 5 schools. That is what you're viewing on the pie chart on your screen right now. So our schools consist of the School of Business, the Park School of Communications, our School of Health Sciences, Humanities and Sciences, and last but not least, our School of Music, Theater, and Dance. And that was actually how Ithaca began. So your trivia for this evening, Ithaca was originally founded as a music conservatory, and we have since evolved into being now a comprehensive liberal arts college. So we are indeed based within the liberal arts. Every student at Ithaca will engage in that liberal arts curriculum, but we also then have professional degree programs you wouldn't normally see at a liberal arts institution. And we are similarly based in the hands-on or experiential learning approach. We feel that our students learn best by doing things outside the classroom. And our whole mantra is theory, practice, performance. And this is from those music conservatory roots. We know that musicians learn best through practice, and we feel that is applicable across all of our variety of different programs of study. So that being said, you have many facilities on campus to help facilitate that, including laboratory space where our students are engaged in undergraduate research. We also have a variety of students who are engaged in things like internships and fieldwork experiences. And we have satellite locations in both London and in Los Angeles to help, again, engage in this way. We are quite, I would say, active extracurricularly. So many of our students at IC are engaged in different things outside of the classroom experience. And our students at IC come from a wide variety of Jewish backgrounds. And thus we have many options for students to explore what being Jewish means to them while they are on our campus. Jewish life in Hillel on IC's campus is very active, and they operate as a contributor to the larger Ithaca area United Jewish Community, as we call it. On campus, we have Shabbat services every Friday evening, followed by Shabbat dinner. For our students who keep kosher, we offer Kosher Kitchen, which is one of our dining facilities, and they also provide catering options at on-campus events. One of our Jumpstart programs, which is an additional optional orientation for our students, is entitled Fresh Fest and allows our Jewish students and their families of all different backgrounds to build community, to build those connections and get to know the campus and each other better while they're with us and before they get started. So at IC, we like to say Ithaca is not just gorgeous, but also Jewish. And Ithaca is indeed gorgeous. We're located in one of the most widely known college towns in the country. We share the city of Ithaca with Cornell University. There are more than 150 waterfalls and gorges within a 10-mile radius of the city of Ithaca itself. It's an absolutely beautiful area to visit. Great vacation spot in the summer. So if you're thinking about being in the Finger Lakes region of New York State this summer for a vacation, come and stop by our campus. In terms of admission to the college, we engage in a very holistic admission approach. We've been a test optional college since 2012. So for 10 years now, we have always, I'd say, mostly concentrated on a student's academic performance in context of what kind of curriculum that they've taken at their most recently attended institution, whether that be high school or perhaps as a transfer applicant coming from their most recent collegiate institution. Students do apply directly into a program of study when they apply to IC, and we have 3 application deadlines, those being our early decision, early action, and regular decision deadlines, November 1st, December 1st, and February 1st. So that being said, I'd love you to get a little bit of a visual of IC, so let's take a 1-minute tour.
Hey, welcome to Ithaca College. We only have a minute to take a tour. Let's go.
I'll be putting some more relevant links into the chat for you to take with you, as well as be here to answer your questions. And for those of you who may be viewing this as a recording, if you have an interest in visiting Ithaca, you can Google Ithaca College visit, and the first hit will be to register for a campus visit with us. So thank you so much for having me. I look forward to engaging with you all further.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for presenting on Ithaca. All right, we are on to our third school in this 6x6, and we're going to be learning all about Florida Atlantic University.
All right. Sorry about that. It hit my controls from me. Hi, everybody. My name is Mitch. I am an admissions counselor at FAU. I'm just going to get this slideshow up and running and talk to you a little bit about FAU. So, a little bit about us. We are a school of about 30,000 students located right in Boca Raton, Florida, in the heart of South Florida, about an hour north of Miami, about 30 minutes south of about 30 minutes south of West Palm Beach. All right. We're able to offer over 170 plus degree programs across all of our various colleges, which we'll see on the next slide. Take a lot of pride in the fact that we are actually a school with award-winning undergraduate research. We're actually the #1 most diverse public university in the state of Florida. And big number here, we actually have over 171,000 alumni. We're going to get into why that's important. But just remember all of these numbers in your head for a second, okay? Now, I mentioned all of the various colleges. We have colleges ranging from arts and letters to business to education. Pretty much everything you would like to study across our 170 majors are administered through these various colleges. When you apply to FAU, you're also indirectly applying to one of our colleges. Something important to note is that some of our colleges do have some extra requirements. Most notably, our College of Engineering and Computer Science has extra math requirements. They basically want you to be calculus ready as soon as possible. Our College of Nursing is a freshman-directed MIT program only. They have a really tight range of restrictions and deadlines, so please get in touch with me if you are interested in nursing. Our College of Science often has some extra math requirements, and our College of our School of Architecture within our College of Arts and Letters also has some extra requirements and some different deadlines. We can talk a little bit more about that later on. I'll leave you my information at the end of this presentation. Now, one of our colleges is actually our Harriet L. Wilkes Honors College, which offers a sort of small liberal arts education, but at a public institution cost. Where FAU has about 30,000 students, our Harriet L. Wilkes Honors College has about 800 students and is located in Jupiter, Florida, about 45 minutes north of us. Students there begin their career with research straight off the bat, working with faculty advisors to do that research. Students that are required to have either an internship or study abroad. And they're also working in these really interesting classes with all of their students, sometimes interdisciplinary classes that are taught by 2 different professors at the same time, all kinds of different really interesting things going on there. Let's say you want to be on the Boca campus though, with 30,000 students. You can actually take part in our honors program. This is a little bit of a supplement to our already high quality education on our Boca campus, where for the first 2 years, you're going to do some extra honors level work. And then at the end, for the last 2 years, you're going to work on some undergraduate research. Now, something else to note though, is that while I mentioned research across both of these programs, you don't have to be in honors to do research. You can actually do research across any one of our majors, across any one of our colleges. And it's actually something that has led to us becoming the #1 doctoral level undergraduate research university in the state of Florida. We have over 6,000 undergraduate research activities per year. 1 in 5 of our students are doing undergraduate research every single year. Now, in the picture you're seeing in front of you, you're obviously seeing people play with some cute baby turtles, but not all of our research is in the sciences. We have students that are doing research across all kinds of fields, from arts to social work. Most recently, we actually had a group of music students who looked to use their undergraduate research opportunities to develop a musical notation system for blind musicians, and they were able to do that. For most of our students, though, the big draw when it comes to professional development are going to be our over 4,000 registered internships. We're able to offer so many internships because of those 171,000 alumni that we have at FAU. One thing that if you remember nothing else about FAU, it's I want you to think of FAU as your gateway to South Florida. That includes obviously the education in this area, but social opportunities in this area, community opportunities, and internship opportunities. We're connected to all these different towns and all of this dense metropolis that's around us here in South Florida. And we are getting our students to do research, to study, and to get internships in that area. For anybody interested in sports, it's a great place to be because we actually have 5 major sports teams within an hour of us here at FAU. And we've had students go on to intern or work for all of them except for the new MLS team, which is Inter Miami. Okay. Now, student life, I think a lot of us are here to talk about student life. We're a Division I school, so what you're seeing there is our 30,000-seater football stadium. It gets crazy, it gets fun when we're having our homecoming games. But more than that, we also have over 400 clubs and organizations, which altogether lead over 5,000 student-led events per year. This obviously includes our Hillel as well as our 2 Jewish fraternities and sororities. So we have AE Pi, our Jewish sorority, and starting next year, we will actually have STT on our campus as a Jewish sorority as well. Our Hillel and all of our Jewish life here is thriving. We have over 1,500 Jewish students here at FAU. Currently, we have 4 buses of students over in Israel doing Birthright. We have Jewish events happening constantly on campus. If you need kosher food, our Hillel is constantly having events with kosher food, obviously every time, but we also are partnered with a local kosher market to make sure that we're able to provide kosher meals to all of our students who request them. If you do have any information or you have any more questions about our Hillel specifically, please make sure you Google Hillel South Florida. You're going to find the contact information for Adam Collette. Give him a call. He is waiting for all of you guys to call him. He wants to talk to all of you about all the amazing Jewish opportunities that we have going through our Hillel.
Thanks, Mitch. We have hit the end of our 6 minutes, but thank you so much for presenting and sharing Florida Atlantic with everybody this evening. All right, we are on to our next institution. We're going to be learning and hearing from Simmons University.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Pira. I use she, her pronouns. I'm one of the assistant directors over at Simmons University in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'll dive right in. So, of course, if Boston area schools are sort of on your list of places to check out, definitely consider Simmons, as we are one of many, but small but mighty, which is a theme throughout this. If you are leaning towards small schools, that's what we are. We're about 1,800 students. So that's about a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio, an average class size of 15. So if you're aiming for those small class sizes at the liberal arts level, that's what you're going to get. We also have quite a large and growing graduate student population. And I'll explain later in the slides why that's pretty relevant, especially at the undergrad level, and opportunities for continuing on with your education. We do have students that will live on campus. It's about 90% of students that will live on campus. So we do have a lot of on-campus housing. I will show you some slides that will go over our 60+ majors as well. We are, of course, as I mentioned, in the Boston area. So Simmons and the Simmons students are part of a global hub of 300,000 students in the area. So really, wherever you go throughout the city is very student-centered. Our neighborhood within the Fenway neighborhood are part of the colleges of the Fenway. This includes Emmanuel College, Wentworth Institute of Technology, Mass School of Art, and various other colleges. So within our Fenway neighborhood alone, there's quite a lot of colleges that our students will engage in different classes as well as intramural sports amongst all the different universities. We're also a really great jumping off point to really get through to anywhere throughout the city. So students will often choose how much they engage with the city or how much they spend time on campus. So some will be out on the T, headed off to Cambridge or headed off to study at the Boston Public Library, while others will stay and enjoy the campus life. So it really is what you make of it over here. So I'll have you take a scan at some of our major and minor offerings. I will say some of our more popular programs include subjects like nursing, physical therapy, psychology has been incredibly popular, as well as arts administration, and a lot of our social work programs. If you look on the far right, you'll see many of our accelerated program options. So the 3+1 there in the far right corner would be ones that you would apply for in your first year. So if there's an interest in pursuing further education in things like public policy, computer science, or social work, we do have accelerated pathways. So you could get your bachelor's in, let's say, political science, and then in that fourth year, get your master's in public policy. And the same goes for those programs. If you're interested in a direct program for physical therapy that leads straight to the doctorate, we have our 3+3 program. And finally, as a more recent addition, we have our 3+2 dual bachelor's program. So if you're interested in engineering, it would be 3 years at Simmons to get your bachelor's in a STEM related field, and then 2 years at Columbia University where you would get your bachelor's in engineering. So that's a pretty cool pathway that some students will take. Another thing to note about us, and a big takeaway from us, we are a women's college here in Boston. As I said, about 1,800 students. And I can definitely talk for hours and hours about so many of the benefits of attending women-centered institutions. Some of my favorites include 20% of women in Congress right now are graduates of women's colleges. So that really tells you the level of leadership that students will take part in during and post-college. They're also 2 times more likely to complete graduate degrees. So really the results speak for themselves in that capacity. So students really come away with those 3 qualities that you see listed on the screen, of being an advocate, of being a person who's ready to work, and of being a leader. And about 91% of our students find themselves after graduation within the first 6 months, either in graduate school or finding employment. So really you see the results of that. And it is a requirement to do some form of leadership and internship opportunities throughout our time here. So students will really be growing that resume throughout their time at Simmons. And then finally, speaking a little bit to Jewish life at Simmons, as I said, Simmons Hillel is small but mighty, of course, being a part of the Office of Spiritual Life. Simmons Hillel is involved in a lot of different things on campus, from social justice to educational programs. They do things like themed Shabbat dinners, Hamantash and baking, Boston-wide galas, and Purim parties, to name a few. Where we're located is about a walking distance, or if not, a couple T stops away from like 7 different synagogues. We are a couple stops away from Coolidge Corner, Brookline specifically, which has a thriving Jewish community, which contains kosher markets, kosher restaurants, and things like that. Of course, our students receive excused absences for high holiday observance. And in terms of kosher meal access, students are given kosher meal options in the dining halls, as well as access to private dining, as well as catered events that are provided by the Boston University dining services. So there are a lot of engagement events with surrounding Hillel organizations throughout the Boston area. So you do have your niche Simmons group, but you also have a chance to explore the wider community of Simmons. And finally, you can connect with Julia Barron, who is our part-time director of Hillel Life here at Simmons. But again, I'll make sure to put my contact information in on the chat, and thank you all.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mary, for sharing Simmons with us today. All right, we're on to our next school. We will be learning all about the University of Richmond.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm very excited to be here tonight. Joining me is also Josh Jeffries, who is our Jewish chaplain and director of religious life. So the University of Richmond focuses on an undergraduate experience, but along with some of the really great benefits that you find at a larger university, in the small package of only 3,200 undergraduates, as well as Division I athletics. We incorporate a traditional liberal arts and science curriculum, but also have undergraduate schools in business and leadership studies. The University of Richmond is located in a suburban neighborhood about 6 miles from the city center and capital city of Virginia. And the University of Richmond is also in the fortunate position to be need blind for our admission and meet 100% of demonstrated financial need for all students. We also offer merit scholarships up to tuition, room, and board costs. So because we support only 3,200 undergraduates in a really safe and residential setting, 90% of our students live on campus all 4 years, and the average class size is about 16. 99% of your classes will have 30 students or less, enabling you to really develop lasting and important friendships with your faculty, and that the faculty's research and their connections that they have really benefit you, the student, you're going to be relying on your professors to write recommendation letters for graduate school, or even having the professors help to find those really important summer internships or jobs after you graduate. We do have 3 different undergraduate schools, and we cherish that idea of academic freedom and flexibility for students to pursue more than one field of study. Students do not declare a major until their 2nd year, and it's not unusual to declare more than a major, whether it's a double major, major-minor combinations. About 2/3 of students will do that. Because we have the 3 different schools, you're not applying directly into any of them. You will simply apply to the University of Richmond, and you will start officially as an undeclared student, but you'll start to investigate all of those fun majors and minors and think about that possibility and ultimately choose in your sophomore year. There are about 100 different majors and minors at the University of Richmond. This is a list of our top 10. Business administration, leadership studies, biology, accounting, psychology are typically found in our top 5. One of Richmond's signature programs is what we call the Richmond Guarantee. And because we know that the classroom experience is not the only thing you need to prepare for a career, we guarantee up to $5,000 in funding for at least one summer internship or a professor mentored summer research project. Students get to choose what to do, and we just simply support them in the pursuit of their passions. 89% of the class last year participated in an internship during their time at Richmond. Now I'm going to pass it over to Josh Jeffries to talk about Jewish life at Richmond.
Thanks, Erica. As Erica said, I'm Josh. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the Jewish chaplain at the University of Richmond. I'm an official employee of the Office of the Chaplaincy, as Jewish life was brought into the university about 11 years ago as a full-time position. Jewish Life here is a pluralistic organization for all students to explore their identity informed by Jewish values in a way that complements our elite liberal arts campus. We have roughly 200 identified Jewish undergraduates, meaning that Jewish students make up about 6 to 8% of our student population at any given time. It's an official part, as I said, of the university chaplaincy, fully integrated into the Division of Student Development and the university as a whole. Jewish Life programs are created in coordination with the fantastic Hillel Student Board, a representative group of Jewish student leaders who help advocate for Jewish concerns, craft thoughtful Jewish programs, and foster an inclusive Jewish community on campus. So in Judaism, especially here, like on a college campus, there's no one size fits all to express all of the ways that we know students can express their Jewish identities and explore their inner development. So we aren't here to tell you how to be Jewish. We're here to help you do Jewish and to do it together in community. And we do that in sort of through 5 programmatic priorities. Those are ritual and prayer, study and Torah, social action or justice or tzedek work, cultural programs like challah baking or things around holidays, and Israel-related programs. In terms of holidays and rituals, we provide high holiday opportunities on campus with meals, services in the community and on campus. We'll be bringing to campus with the Torah in the fall. Plus, we do a major Passover Seder for the community in the spring. We tend to get 80 to 100 students and guests, including the university president in years past and other members. We also have 2 sukkahs or Sukkot on campus around the holiday of Sukkot, major Hanukkah parties, a Purim party, and special events for Tu B'Shvat, for example. The other sort of mainstay in our programming on a week-to-week basis is our weekly Welcoming Shabbat or Kabbalat Shabbat services, which are sort of what we like to call a camp-style Shabbat with a lot of fun singing and ritual and an opportunity to build community. In years past, sort of before COVID, if you will, we do once-a-month visits to one of the 7 local synagogues in the area on a rotating basis so that students can pray in a way that either would be new or familiar to them in a way that they don't get to do on campus, while visiting other sort of restaurants in the area for fun community building activity. We don't do this right now during COVID, but what we have done is that it's expanded our Shabbat opportunities to include more frequent Shabbat meals, fuller and complete services, and lots of other activities that our students create on a weekly basis, including our Jewish Learning Fellowship and other opportunities.
So thanks for joining. Our contact information is in the chat.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing the University of Richmond with everybody today. All right, we're on to our sixth school of the 6x6, University of Maryland.
Sorry, there we go. We're all set up. Everyone can see me. Perfect. Good. Thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Oliveri, and I am with the University of Maryland. I'm so excited to talk to you a little bit about the university. If you haven't heard too much about our university, we are a large institution with 30,000 plus undergraduate students, 40,000 total, a Big Ten academic Division I member and sports athletics Division I member. With a large school, there's a lot of amenities and resources, as well as a large student population. So we have over 800 different clubs and organizations on our campus. There's so many different things to do and be involved in that you can see your future in any way, shape, and form. And we'll get to that in a few moments here. Also, one thing I really like to highlight is that 47% of our students on campus identify as students of color, which is a very large number, and we have a very diverse campus. So you will meet people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds, and it challenges who you are as a person. It asks deeper level questions, and it makes you become a more well-rounded person. And it really mirrors what the real world will look like after you graduate. Now, to tie in our location, we are located in College Park, Maryland, so a true college town, traditional, large flagship university. We also are 4 miles outside of Washington, D.C. From our campus to the White House is about 25 minutes. We also do have we're about 45 minutes from Baltimore, and both have train lines that you can access. So very convenient to 2 major metropolitan areas. Now, tying in a little bit more Washington, D.C., from our campus, you can get into Washington, D.C. during the school year. So many of our students will be a full-time University of Maryland student while they are doing an internship in Washington, D.C. And that really ties everything in well, right? So no matter what major, not just my politics and government and my public policy students benefit from this, but if you're interested in art and history, the Smithsonian Suite of Museums, any major industry that we have has a governmental department you can intern at, environmental science at the EPA. Our business students are interning at Amazon 2 headquarters, which is on the south end of DC. We have so many different opportunities. The White House, working under senators, that our students really do benefit, and all of our programs benefit from it. Now, here's a list of all of our different colleges. These are overarching umbrellas. We have over 100 different majors on our campus. Another benefit of a large institution is that if you're interested in one thing, you come to the university, you decide you're no longer interested, then you can switch and you don't have to leave the institution for that. You can still be at the University of Maryland. Another great opportunity is if you're completely undecided, there's a lot of options to choose from, and you can take a few classes in each of these different colleges to decide which realm or what expertise really ties in the best for you at the university. Talking a little bit about big picture student life, like I said, over 800 different student organizations. We have about 37 different residence halls, Division I athletics. We do have about 17% Greek life, which is nice because you have the ability to go Greek and have that strong Greek community, but there's lots of other things to do on our campus outside of Greek life as well. We are a vibrant college town, College Park, so it's right in the name, and we do have embedded community service and civic engagement that's strongly aligned with our campus, giving back to College Park, DC, and Baltimore area. Now, to tie in a little bit deeper on our Jewish student life, we have over 6,500 actively Jewish students on our campus. Over 2,000 live on our campus, and over 500 are Orthodox. That's the largest of any public institution. So our students are able to be completely accommodated whatever they see their Jewish life being. And it's nice to be on a very diverse campus because you can change what that looks like for you, right? So over almost 2,000 of our students do high holiday services, and we do excusals for courses, exams, everything of that nature. For those high holidays, professors are given a list of the high holidays before classes start to not schedule exams on those days, and full excusal of classes. We have about 400 to 500 students that come to our Shabbat every single Friday at our Hillel, which houses our completely kosher meal plan. And you can waive that out of our meal plan, or you can do a partial. We do also offer a couple different majors and minors. We do have a Hillel and an A-roof. Our Hillel will be new as of fall of 2023. So we're in the process of building that right now. And of course, we have about 25 to 30 Jewish student groups, including Greek life, basketball organizations, a cappella, and Jewish focused and related on daily services and everything of that nature. And then we do offer 1 and 2 year GAF deferrals. For our application process, we are a dual application school, so Common App and Coalition. I'm sure you've seen both of these. We do have a nice little list, and this is on our website, of things that we will require. So letters of recommendation, transcripts. We will be test optional for next year, and soon we will come out for the policy for coming years. Activities list, essay, and you will complete a TERP application portal to see where your application stands. And it will also make sure that we have received everything, even though Common App and Coalition will tell you, you'll also see it from our end as well. And this is what we review on. We really look for a holistic class, lots of different things that we're looking at and entailing for our ideal candidates to be a TERP. And the thing I want to leave you with is November 1st is our early action deadline. It's non-binding, and it gives you that priority consideration for scholarships, special programs, and the best admissions offer. So apply by November 1st. There's no reason to delay November 1st of your senior year. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robert, for presenting on the University of Maryland. All right, we have just a couple minutes left. I want to make sure that all of our representatives be able to get information into the chat for our attendees. Any last questions in the Q&A? It's been great tonight. So I'd love to, while all that's happening, invite all of our admissions professionals, or one representative from each school, back on camera. So everybody come back and join me. We're going to go in the exact same order that you presented. And so we will start with the Cooper Union and move our way to University of Maryland. Just answer as soon as the person ahead of you finishes. Just turn on your microphone and take it away. But I'd love to know from each of you one of your quick top tips for someone going through the college search process. And hold on 1 second. I will get your camera back on. So there you go.
All right, thanks.
Take it away. Thank you.
So my advice would be if you have the opportunity to do an on-campus tour, take it. If you can't do that, I would definitely recommend connecting with the current student. I think it's the best way to get the real scoop on a school that you're interested in.
So I would say that, that of course, visiting is very important, but there are so many factors that go into picking a college, frankly. But what research has shown the most and what's going to be the biggest influence are the people that you have the ability to connect with. So I would say integrate those people in your college search as much as possible. There are so many beautiful campuses out there. There are so many top ranked programs out there. It's connecting with the people who are going to be your mentors and who are going to facilitate that growth when you're in college. So try to connect with as many people as possible throughout your college search.
Yeah, for me, it's always a matter of start early and start by getting in touch with us. Every school has people that are excited to talk to all of these amazing families. That's why we're all here. It's the favorite part of my job. So start early, get in touch with us, give us a phone call, send us an email, whatever, and start asking all of the questions that you have. I'm more than happy to start answering them.
Okay, all really great pieces of advice so far. I guess my 2 cents is really have fun and be creative with that college essay. Like, really don't underestimate the power of a solid college essay that just shows crispness of writing and the time and effort put into it. So really don't sleep on that. Really tell your story in any way that you find it possible, because so many of us have that holistic process. So of course, for us and for many of us, the college essay is our favorite part of reading the application. So don't underestimate it and be creative with it.
My piece of advice, since we have parents and students on tonight, is to also, have patience with one another. It's going to be overwhelming at times trying to stay organized, remembering all the deadlines, and support each other through this process and give each other some grace sometimes when you need it.
Yeah, I love that. And to put a little bow at the end of this question, I think it's really, really important to go and see other institutions that you weren't interested in, maybe, or someplace that you weren't thinking about, wasn't on your list, very different than what you thought you would look at a college. So then you get a full look at all of the different types of institutions out there, because as we all know on this call, there are there's over 5,000 institutions, so there's a lot out there, and it's very diverse, and every student has a different perfect fit.
This was wonderful. I love watching the head nods and the smiles, and I think that shows families and students and parents that these are great answers, and big schools, small schools, all this wonderful variety that we have here, that these are really great tips that are going to help you navigate the process. For everyone who is here as a panelist representing your school, thank you. You shared not just the facts, the figures, and the details of dates, but the passion, the energy you have for your students' experience on campus, and for tonight, especially the Jewish students that are part of each of your communities. To everyone who's watching, whether it's live or it is on recording, thank you for taking time out of your day. Maybe there's one school or location that drew you here, but I hope you're walking away thinking, I've got 6 schools I have to go check out now. There's so much more to learn about these schools, where you've thought of a friend you want to pass along some information to after tonight. So thank you so much, everyone, for having part of your day spent here. Now, the logistics. When you close your window, there'll be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. I promise they are super short questions, so thank you so much. We encourage you to check back to the schedule. We have one more round of programming coming, and it's not too late to join us, so please sign up. And you can do that at the same website where you registered initially, strivestand.com/Jewish Student Fair. And that is also where you can find this session's recording, as well as all other session recordings. Thanks again, everyone, for being here. All the best in your college search and decision process. It's a great adventure ahead. Good night.